Whitaker.
Presiding Officer, it is a pleasure to speak in this debate, and I'm very grateful to Colin Beattie for the motion and for his speech, and a pleasure always to follow Kenneth Gibson. The resilience, courage and determination of the Ukrainian people in the face of an unprovoked invasion by Russia has inspired the free world. And 3 years on, we must ask, what have we learned from the lessons of history? What have we understood is at stake? This war is not just about Ukraine. It is about the principles that underpin peace and security in Europe. And we must also acknowledge the harsh truth. This war is in part the result of the West's inaction over Russian aggression in Georgia, in Syria, in the Crimea and eastern Ukraine. Each failure to act decisively only emboldened Vladimir Putin further. Mistakes we cannot afford to repeat now. If we fail to act decisively and unitedly, we send a dangerous message that the international order can be torn apart by brute force. That is a message we simply cannot afford to send. The cost of inaction now is far greater than the cost of standing firm. That is why Britain has been unwavering in its support for Ukraine, not just in solidarity. Clearly, that is in our direct national interest. A Europe where Russian aggression is left unchecked is a Europe less safe for Britain. That is why we must never waver, and that's why we must continue to provide Ukraine with the military, economic and diplomatic support they need to win. Vladimir Putin's regime has shown total disregard for its treaty obligations, has violated international law, has committed atrocities and war crimes in Ukraine. Only strength of purpose and of arms will maintain any peace worth having. And I commend the leadership of the British Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, in reaffirming our unwavering commitment to Ukraine. It is only right that Britain, as the last remaining faithful signatory of the Budapest Memorandum, leads by example. So I welcome the announced increase in defence expenditure, but it must be increased further. NATO remains the bedrock of our security, and we must ensure that we in Europe have the capabilities to deter and, if necessary, defeat any threat to our freedom. Yet, I cannot and won't ignore the muddled thinking of those in this chamber who speak in praise of Ukraine, who even call for greater defence spending, while decrying the very existence of our armed forces, and by decrying the very existence of the very industries and workers upon whom we rely to produce the material of war. If we are serious about our security, then we must be serious about supporting the people and the businesses that equip our armed forces. Just last week in our committee, we heard from the Consul General for Ukraine in Edinburgh, who expressed how deeply grateful the Ukrainians in Scotland have been for all that has been done to make them feel welcome. But he also reminded us of something crucial: how much those Ukrainians in Scotland long to return home. The Ukrainian people fight not just for their country, but for the very principles that keep us all safe. If we do not stand with Ukraine today, we may find ourselves standing alone tomorrow.